The Bible, in Psalm 122, 6 encourages us to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. But what does this mean in the context of a conflict that has filled the Middle East with violence and bloodshed for over a century? The answers lie in history, faith, and the ever-elusive quest for peace. The conflict we see today began just under a century ago, but the significance of the land it's fought over reaches back to biblical times, sparking a dialogue that's lasted for millennia. The stories of Abraham, Moses, and David are deeply woven into this modern conflict. The promises and struggles recounted in these texts provide profound context and insight into the present-day challenges over land and identity. This video will explore the biblical background to provide a deeper understanding of the roots that anchor this enduring clash. Now, to understand the historical friction that underpins the Israel-Palestine conflict, we have to journey back in time to the very roots of this enduring struggle. Both the Arab and Jewish roots in this land stretch back for thousands of years, and both lay claim to the territory not only due to historical presence but also because of what they believe to be divine right. The story begins in the pages of Genesis, specifically in Genesis 15. It's here that we find a key moment in the biblical narrative, the birth of Ishmael. Sarah, Abraham's wife, was barren, and in her desperation, she offered her Egyptian maidservant Hagar to her husband Abraham as a surrogate mother. The result was the birth of Ishmael, who became the father of what would later be known as the Arab nations. But the story doesn't end there. In Genesis 21, we encounter another significant event, the birth of Isaac, Sarah's miracle child. It's in line with that the Bible tells us, "He that was born after the flesh persecuted him that was born after the Spirit." Galatians 4:29. This passage marks the beginning of the tensions between Ishmael and Isaac, which some see as a foreshadowing of the conflict between their descendants, the Arab and Jewish peoples. As we continue our exploration of the Israel-Palestine conflict, we find ourselves at the heart of the matter, the Holy Land. To understand the significance of this land, now known as Israel and Palestine, we must take a look at its deep-rooted biblical connections. Although many perceive this conflict as a matter of territory, it's impossible to grasp the full historical context without acknowledging the profound religious importance of this land, deeply rooted in the three major Abrahamic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Jerusalem, one of the oldest inhabited cities in the world, stands as the heart of this sacred land. In the Hebrew Bible, Jerusalem is often referred to as the City of David, and its importance extends far beyond the mere boundaries of a city. In Jewish tradition, it represents the very spot where Abraham, the first patriarch of Judaism, almost sacrificed his son to God thousands of years ago. This city served as the capital of King David's Israel, and it was here that David's son Solomon built his magnificent temple. The resonance of these stories echoes throughout history, influencing the faith of generations. The Old Testament, a sacred text for Jews and Christians, brims with references to Jerusalem, making it an epicenter of faith. Verses like Psalm 122:6 call upon believers to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, signifying its enduring significance. It's not just a city, it's a spiritual anchor, a symbol of hope, and a testament to the divine promises that have been made. The biblical ties to this land are undeniable, and one of the central themes of the Bible is the promise of Canaan to the descendants of Abraham. Verses like Genesis 12:7 resound with divine words. The Lord appeared to Abram and said, "To your offspring I will give this land." But Jerusalem's importance is a shared treasure among the three Abrahamic faiths. To Muslims, it holds the Dome of the Rock, a site of immense significance, believed to be the place where the prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. And to Jews, the Western Wall, a remnant of the ancient temple, stands as a symbol of their connection to this sacred land. These profound biblical connections to the land have had far-reaching implications for the Jewish people and their connection to Israel. The very idea of a promised land, with its roots in ancient scripture, is a fundamental part of their identity. But this isn't limited to Judaism alone. For Muslims and Christians, this region holds a special place in their religious history and faith. As we look deeper into the biblical interpretations surrounding the Israel-Palestine conflict, we encounter a diverse spectrum of viewpoints within the Christian community. These interpretations often paint a varied picture, reflecting the complexities of this long-standing issue. For some, The return of Jews to the land of Israel is seen as a direct fulfillment of biblical prophecy. This interpretation stems from a belief in the unyielding nature of the promises outlined in the Scriptures. In their eyes, the events unfolding in the modern state of Israel are a tangible manifestation of ancient prophecies. It's a narrative of restoration, a story of the divine hand guiding the course of history, and a testament to the unwavering faithfulness of God. They view the events in the Holy Land as a direct continuation of the Scriptures. On the other hand, some emphasize a spiritual interpretation, one that transcends political boundaries and earthly disputes. These voices underscore the importance of peace and coexistence, believing that the essence of the biblical message lies in love, compassion, and understanding. Their interpretation of the Scriptures leads them to advocate for harmony, empathy, and a shared sense of humanity, transcending the lines of religious and cultural differences. Theological debates within Christianity further complicate the matter, leading to diverse and sometimes contrasting positions. Some argue that the promises made in the Bible are conditional, contingent upon adherence to certain principles or moral codes. They believe that the fulfillment of these promises is not solely dependent on a particular political landscape, but on a collective adherence to spiritual truths and values. This nuanced perspective underscores the importance of moral responsibility and ethical conduct in the unfolding of divine promises. Amidst the delicate nature of the Israel-Palestine conflict, we must pause and consider God's perspective on such stormy situations. We find in the Scriptures that God's plan transcends political landscapes, and His divine purpose does not necessarily align with taking sides in a particular conflict. The letter to the Ephesians offers us a profound insight, reminding us that God seated Him, Jesus, at His right hand in the heavenly places, far above all rule and authority and power and dominion. Ephesians 1:20-21. This powerful imagery serves as a reminder that as believers we are seated with Him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. Ephesians 2:6. This positioning places us above the conflicts, including the intricate and deeply rooted Israel-Palestine struggle. It elevates us above the powers behind these conflicts, urging us to see the world through a different lens, one that reflects God's divine perspective. We must recognize that God's plan for us is not to choose sides during a conflict, even when, like Joshua, we may be acting on what we believe to be God's instructions. Despite being a commander of the Israelites, Joshua's ultimate allegiance was to God, not to any political agenda. Similarly, God calls us to rise above the chaos, to seek His perspective, and to discern His will amid tumultuous circumstances. Like Esther, we are called to use our positions, our voices, and our influence to advocate for justice and righteousness. We are called to be voices of reason, compassion, and empathy, seeking to bring about peace and reconciliation in the face of discord. Just as Esther bravely stood before the king, we too can approach the throne of grace, imploring wisdom, discernment, and the courage to act justly in complex and challenging situations. In this frail blend of historical roots and diverse interpretations, one message stands out clearly: the message of hope and reconciliation. It's a call to all of us, regardless of our beliefs, to embrace the path of peaceful dialogue and understanding. Empathy, tolerance, and respect are not mere virtues, but powerful tools for breaking down the walls that divide us. It's an invitation to view one another as fellow travelers on this journey of life, each with our unique stories and perspectives. In a world that can sometimes seem consumed by division, let us remember that true understanding and lasting peace can only be forged through dialogue and mutual respect. The words of Romans 12:18 say it best: "If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone." This serves as an important reminder of our shared responsibility to strive for peace, to uphold justice, and to foster a climate of understanding that transcends the boundaries of race, religion, and culture. As we conclude our journey through the wonders of the Word, remember that faith is a light that guides us through life's darkest moments. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enlightening content. Keep walking with faith, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless.